So 2 years ago, I was given this opportunity. My husband was given an opportunity to work in a completely new place across the country, and it pulled me away from my career to go with him and to live with him in this totally new place, away from all my clients that I had built in this life that I had built. And um, I went with him because, of course, you get married, you've got to be a partner and be in a give and take relationship. And I tried a few different career paths and tried to continue my business in the new location. And I really wasn't feeling it anymore. And I kind of was losing my heart for life and my love for my career and my love for myself even, I guess. And I think, from what I know now too, I was really kind of starting to get focused on a masculine energy and kind of a planning. I started, my emotional being started to kind of fall apart. And so I think before I started this program, I was just getting wrapped up in this cycle of who am I and what am I supposed to be doing? And should I be doing what I've always done? Should I be doing what I went to college for? And that kind of thinking is really something that you can get really lost in. So that's why I was seeking the help of someone to help me kind of sort these things out and refocus my life. So there was a point in my personal career development and personal kind of avalanche that I found out that Emily was doing life coaching. And I spoke to her briefly about it, but I wasn't really sure that that was exactly what I needed to get me going. I mean, there are so many different modalities that you can turn to in times like these. You can turn to traditional therapy, and then of course life coaching. You can turn to changing maybe your other habits in your own way. And I guess at first I wasn't sure, because I guess number one too, I knew Emily beforehand, and I knew that we were kind of friends and close, but not too close. And I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to work with her in an objective way. But it's really funny when you start working with Emily. She is, the relationship changes completely, and it's not personal anymore. It's not business either. It's internal for me. It's inside my head, because we're very focused on me as the recipient of the coaching. And as much as I am still friends with Emily and will always be, I think, I really like that the program the program that she put together was able to kind of take the relationship elements between her and I out of it, and we could work together on me, which is really cool. And I was on the edge, but after speaking to her about what she offers and how she approaches it and getting my questions answered, she was able to take everything that I said and sort of answer the question in a way that was so positive and so wonderful. And it kind of made my perspective on life coaching actually really positive right off of the bat. And I thought to myself, I think I really need this. I really would love to have this inspiration in my life on a more regular basis, because you kind of go into these conversations with Emily and you're like, what are we going to talk about? What can we possibly solve today in my life? And no matter what you say, you're able to speak so freely about it. And she almost is like a mirror coming back at you, but a mirror that puts you in this perspective, in this best perspective of yourself that can really leave you feeling, I don't know, happy about your life, no matter where you started. So the Freedom is Sexy program, going into it initially, I wasn't sure that it was the right format for me because I had never really seen or known anyone that has participated in something like that, where you're getting one-on-one coaching, but also participating in this group therapy, almost fan club, if you will. But you can hear from my voice, like that is really what it is. It's a fan club, the sister circles where we all get together between the one-on-one calls and we talk to each other about, we kind of have this like platform to express a multitude of emotions, whether it's obstacles in our lives, we can celebrate things that are going on, or we can just talk about anything that's going on, how we're feeling, what emotions we felt that day, and it's like you go into it and you're like, oh, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? And you always just say exactly what is needed. It comes to you, and because the support is there, and this program combines the best two elements of that sister circle support and like group support. At the beginning of any sister circle that we have, Emily talks to us about how we're going to approach the call that day, and what kind of time we're each going to have to talk about things, how we're supposed to listen to each other and respond in ways that we would like to be responded to, setting up that expectation of what kind of support do you need. So it's a really wonderful thing. And you go in, I went into this program like not even knowing what a sister circle was, or what this was even going to be like. And I was really actually most excited about the one-on-one calls, but by the end of it, I don't want to say like I like them more, but I like them so incredibly much. I don't even know these women and in person, but we were all almost approaching tears on our last call together. And it's just a relationship that you can't get anywhere else. I think honestly, there were a number of surprises about the program because I really wasn't sure what I was getting into. But I would say one of the biggest ones was how I just could not that I was trying to stump Emily ever, but I could not ever throw anything out there to Emily or in the sister circles that came back to me in a negative way. Every single thing I ever expressed or said was either positively reflected back to me or, kind of just a general reflection like, oh, this is what you said. Let's work from that. So it was overwhelmingly such a positive experience and full of love. Everything, like Emily is so selfless and literally approaches these calls with, I don't even think she realizes she exists during these calls. She comes at like completely objective, which is kind of an amazing human feat. So I don't know. I'm not even really sure. Yeah, I think Emily is kind of like it's almost like it's magic how she approaches things and how she approaches the conflicts and the struggles that we all come at her with such love and such a feeling of wanting to help us. So going into the program, one of my biggest struggles and intentions for the program was to find a focus for my career, which had been kind of, I really had a lot of things that a lot of different directions that I thought that I could go in. And I was almost stuck in a zone that I was spinning. My wheels were spinning. I wasn't getting anywhere because I wasn't committing to any one path. So with that struggle, Emily sort of took a list of, what are your options in front of you, and let's go through these and let's discuss each of these things. And she was able to identify where my heart was at. And because really in the end, it's not about what you think you should be doing with your life. My whole point going into the program was like, what do I really want to be doing with my life? And what would be fulfilling to me? So we worked through that and found where my heart was. And that gave me direction for the rest of the program. Sort of to, at least that gave me direction for my career, but it also guided the rest of my experience through the program as I worked forward and created a vision and thought more critically about this decision to move forward with this particular career. And then I struggled throughout the program with other issues. It's interesting how all of the issues were actually pretty diverse. The second issue we really worked on was I was feeling frustrated with people and those around me and kind of the general public. And I guess Emily kind of identified some ways for me to not only deal with it, but kind of view it with a different perspective and a little bit more love and appreciation for people around me, and gave me some really great, just new perspectives on how to work through those so-called frustrating moments. And it's funny because she gave me these directions of how to deal with it, but in the end, the real learning that I experienced was I don't need those directions if I have a different perspective. So that's pretty cool. It's like, it's totally magic, because she gives you like what you think you need, but she also gives you what you really need at the same time. Truth is, you never really run out of things to talk about, because we don't just have to talk about struggles. We talk about celebrating the things we have accomplished, and we also talk about new struggles that have come up that might be smaller or totally different. So we can change the topic at any point. And the program doesn't have to be like, let's work on this one thing throughout the whole 8 weeks, and you can only talk about if you're here for career reasons, like only career, but your life is made up of more than just your career. Even if your problems seem like they're only just career problems or just relationship problems, it's like this whole amalgamation of different things that kind of sometimes when you solve one of them, the other ones can kind of domino effect. They just get solved too, Going into this program, I wasn't really sure that it was for me because I knew Emily beforehand as a friend, and she became a life coach, and me not knowing much about life coaching and the approach involved, I immediately kind of thought that maybe, if I work with her and I don't achieve the results that she hopes for me to achieve, that she would somehow be disappointed in me, or like I wouldn't be like a positive. I'm just thinking about this right now. I'm sorry.
Oh, I love you.
This testimonial right now, and it's like I just didn't even think about it. Like I thought I was going to disappoint you, and now I'm like at this point, like saying how amazing this program was and how it's so great, and it's like changed everything for me. And it's like almost like it didn't like cure any problem, because it was like just brushing away the dust that was there, that was left from, some changes in my life. And it was like, hey, like, you're still this person, you're still this loving, like, human being who can like realize actual dreams and can do this. And it's just like this support. And like, I really thought that I was going to disappoint you. I really did. I didn't want you to like be going around like, oh, that Bridgett, she was the worst. She was my hardest client. But I don't really know how, like, honestly, I really don't have any doubt that your feelings or anything like it's have been hurt or anything like that, because we were able to like just work through it. And it wasn't about you, and it wasn't about us. It was like you were in my head. You were part of me. It was like this little like angel on my shoulder, like, hey, like, you can totally do this, It's like support, when even in like the deepest, darkest times where no one else in the world would give you support, or the right kind of support that you needed. But actually, I think anyone who's looking for help getting past any blockages in their life, or things that they view as obstacles, I think Emily would be the perfect fit. And it's actually, I think, better than therapy, because therapists can't really guide you as much, I would say. Therapists kind of take more of a hands-off approach, and Emily is, she actually answers your questions somehow by reflecting what you have told her. And somehow you already know the answers. Like, I realized, like, I already knew the answers to these questions, but they were clouded by my doubts and things like that. So anyone who ever comes to me with doubts about their life, their career, or just being interested in therapy or talking to someone, that is exactly the type of person that I think Emily would work with perfectly and be able to help so much. Okay. After I completed the program with Emily, I guess I could say, even after the first call, honestly, I kind of was able to understand and appreciate the technique that Emily used, and her positivity, and her kind of reminder that I am in control of my decisions and the way I feel about things and my perspectives, and even down to things like I'm in control of my time, and I'm in control of how I think about things completely. And those kind of little techniques that she uses, which I think are magic, those little things kind of creep into my everyday life, and actually just make me feel really good. I feel like more connected to the feminine energy surrounding my life, and an understanding of what feminine energy is. I think a lot of women shy away from thinking about like, oh, like a group of women, I don't fit in with women, I work better with men, or like my friends are always guys, or that kind of mindset. And honestly, working with women, just give it a try, because it is one of the most amazing, supportive, just incredible things you can do for yourself. It's not even about them, or like, doing something you don't want to do. I'm telling you, you will love it. And, working one-on-one with Emily is really cool, but the sister circles and working with other women who, they're just like me, and just like all of us, we all have our struggles. Every human has their own history of wounds and things that they need to work through that are going to trip them up. And this experience just kind of helps me embrace those things in a better light. And it, negative things or challenging things that come up are seemingly easier, I would say. And it doesn't mean your life is going to be perfect after you work with a life coach. Working with Emily just makes life kind of more comfortable, I guess you would say. It's more doable. And there's the idea of depression is kind of silly to me now. And I'm not saying I won't ever feel depressed in the future. It's up to me though. It's up to me. And honestly, I think all it would ever take is to watch one of Emily's videos again, or talk to her again. If I was ever forgetting, what we talked about or any of that stuff. And I have all of our one-on-one calls recorded and available to me if I ever want to go back and listen to what we talked about. So I feel like I can approach my career and my choices now with more of a decisive and more loving nature about me, so that I won't get tripped up as much, because I know some tools and techniques that I can return to whenever I get off course. I was really feeling like I was feeling more and more like I needed to control everything. And I thought that that was the right thing. But by feeling like I needed to be in control, I was somehow feeling like I had no control, powerless, and unable to be supported by people who would traditionally support me. Yeah, but feminine energy is really the why and the emotion of life, and the drive and the love and the heart and the life force, and it's everything that makes you excited about life. I will speak on my own behalf. It's everything that makes me excited about life. For some people, other energies may work for them. But I know that with this program and with the women involved, this feminine energy is without a doubt the number one medicine. If there was a medicine being given, feminine energy is it. And it's really funny because it's never exclusively talked about. And going into the program, that Emily only works with women. She's a women's coach. And that in your sister circles, you're only going to be having other women there. But you never really think about, why is that? Why do women work well together? How can I get the most out of this program from a woman perspective? And honestly, it's the greatest thing in the world. So my understanding of feminine energy will continue to grow, because it's something very difficult to put into words. By the very nature of it, putting things into words is almost a masculine energy by nature. Yeah, defining things. But feminine energy would be what is between the lines, what is happening while we're making plans. These things are happening in the background of our minds, and connection is part of it. And majorly, love is part of it. Exactly. It's so funny too, because I think about the other women that are going to work with Emily, and I think, they have no idea what kind of amazing, incredible, supportive, loving force is going to be holding them in. Emily is just holding your life force in her hands and like nurturing and like helping it grow, and it's just really cool. I'm just so excited for anybody in the future who gets to work with Emily.